Welcome in, Vol Nation. You are listening to the Bearded Tennessee podcast. Go Vols. What up, y'all? We vibing. Still feeling good after that NC State beatdown. It's game film for dummies. Excited to hang out with y'all today. Welcome in. Hey, it's Wednesday, and we are about to be playing Kent State this week, which I think we're going to win big. We'll get into the predictions tomorrow, but I want to start a segment where we watch game film and we break it down. We break it down together, and we get pumped up about the things that we're seeing from the Tennessee Vols. And this is a high-energy, laid-back kind of atmosphere, so let's get started. So check this play out, man. This play is – this defense, guys, gets me fired up. For the first time in a long time, look at our defense and say, dude, we got some dogs on this team, right? So check this out. Play number one.
In the country. We'll see who can impose their will in that regard tonight.
Look at the rush that they're getting. This pocket has completely collapsed. NC State has no idea what they're doing, man. This is the power of a front seven that can dominate the line. Say what you want about our secondary, the questions you might have about our secondary. But a front seven like this, and guys, keep this in mind. Note that this offensive line has 4 graduates. These guys are experienced, and our D line did this all night long.
McCall running out of time, and McCall goes
Attaboy. And I got to do this.
With the center and the 2 guards. Omar Norman Lott that time, reminding us again what kind of quick twitch he has for a guy that's 315 pounds.
Guys, this right here is my favorite play of the entire night, and here's why.
2nd and 7.
Look at the mobility, the composure of Nico in the pocket.
Buying a little time.
He's not afraid to run you over.
Will be spun down,
now, this is where I get fired up, baby.
I think we're going to have
look
to
at
look at this down and distance, and they're talking about that again. But show us what happened.
Yeah, watch the offensive line. Nico is where your
right
attention goes. But if you watch these offensive linemen, look downfield in the background, you'll see 74,
hey, boy.
76, and then they go into the bench area. And then if it can
take them to the parking lot, baby. My high school football coach used to tell us that. You take them to the parking lot, son. You don't stop until the whistle blows. And, guys, this is what I love about this team is that with this team, it's a culture of we are going to put our foot to your throat and we're not going to stop. This team is an SEC contender this year, and it's plays like that where I looked at Mike. I was watching the game with my cousin. I looked at my cousin. He said, how do you feel about those flags? I said, I'll take those flags all day long because we have dogs, baby. Dylan Sampson had himself a day, ladies and gents.
They're able to give Nico some counsel,
and they back out of the blitz.
Only 3 rushing, shuffle pass underneath. What a call from
look at that vision right there. Can't take him down. You love to see that, man, because you can't take Sampson down. The vision. And people are talking about, well, our passing game wasn't that great. Y'all, here's the thing, man. We have so many threats as a complimentary football team now that we don't need Hendon Hooker to go off and the offense to go off every single game. But when you have Dylan Sampson, if you're passing, when you can run the ball, when you can use your tight ends in the passing game the way that Coach Heupel did in this game, when you can use the middle of the field because out wide isn't working, because what's happening is NC State's dropping. They run a 3-3-5 defense. They got 3 linebackers and 5 in the secondary. Essentially, they're dropping 8 the entire game. And if you can't get the ball, Nico made smart plays. He did not try to force something out of nothing. And so we went to the run game. And what do? If you're going to drop 8, we're going to run all day long, especially with our offensive line and our running back and Sampson. And so on that same line of thought, here's where we see the tight end on this play, the tight end being used, in the danger that we have when something is an open downfield, and what we're able to do as an offense. We see the patience in Nico on this play, and just look at the poise, man. The Cali cool, the protection from the offensive line. I mean, I get they're only bringing 3 here, but
The
check this
three-man
out.
defensive line look.
Nico with all kinds of time. Now they're coming.
So nothing's open downfield. Nico has all day, right? I mean, again, we saw that they dropped 8 right there. They only brought 3 on the line. The tight end sneaks out underneath.
He has to get rid of it, and he does so beautifully. And it's Miles Kitzelman making the catch, and it's.
I mean, and if you're a Vol fan, man, this is something that you have been waiting to see, is the use of tight ends in our offense. And our tight ends had a stellar night against NC State. Running game, Samson, stellar night. Offensive line, stellar night. And so Nico didn't have the kind of showing that he had in game 1, and that's okay. This isn't the 2022 offense. This offense is better than the 2022 offense. And I believe the 2022 offense would have struggled with NC State this year. But the difference this year is we're more balanced in every single position room. And speaking on Samson, here's another one of my favorite plays of the night. Is we get to see. I mean, not only is Nico poised and under control, now our wide receiving room is deep. Our offensive line is a veteran, and they are looking to shove you to the parking lot if they're able to. They will be pancaking dudes all year. But we see the patience of Dylan Sampson all night long. I love this kid's poise. To have Nico and Samson as a quarterback running back duo, and the poise and the patience that they both have to allow their offensive linemen, to allow their receivers to open up the play, is phenomenal. This is something that I noticed. Watch the patience of Samson here and how he allows the play to develop.
Job by Ketzelman to slide out.
Back to the ground. Sampson spinning into NC State territory. And he's
So not only that, man, but the dude is difficult to take down. You can't get him to the ground easy. You can't. And this offense is going to be dangerous this year. And I think you can mark my words, this offense will be better under Nico Imaliava than it was under Hendon Hooker. All thanks to Hendon Hooker and for everything you did. But my goodness, this offense is so much more balanced. It's more dangerous. So the play that we're about to watch is Nico's first interception. And people are kind of like, whoa, Nico threw 2 interceptions. Well, the second interception wasn't his fault. This interception, it was just a freshman mistake, but it was a good idea, right? The receiver who he was throwing to, his target, it was there. He just overthrew his intended target. I think he admitted he's trying to force something here, but some of the positives that we can look at on this play is the offensive line protection. I mean, look at this protection. I mean, again, they're only bringing 3, they're dropping 8. But if you watch this play, and the protection this line gets, it's phenomenal.
So line.
Look at that protection there. Great offensive line.
fires the dart. Head is picked up.
So as you can see, if we can go back a little bit here, his receiver is there. I'm going to try to pause it. There he is, right here. And guys, Nico can make that throw. Nico can squeeze that in there, right? I mean, Nico has the vision. We saw it last week in the game at Neyland Stadium, and the throws that he was making against UT Chattanooga. And he was making throws in coverages like this. He was able to see the field before the play was even developed. And Nico can make this throw. This is why I'm confident in Nico, and I'm not worried about this interception here. So here we are shortly after the first interception. Nico responds. Again, this is a testament to his poise, his Cali coolness. when it comes to his ability to rebound. And when you watch this play, the beautiful ball that he puts up for Squirrel White, Milton would have overthrew this ball.
Maliava getting a little heat, gets it. He's got a man. He's wide open.
There you go, baby.
Squirrel White for a big gain in Tennessee.
Squirrel White, you let him know, son. That was a good throw, a good rebound from Nico. So that's encouraging to see following a big interception. I mean, Nico is wise and experienced beyond his years. Most redshirt freshman quarterbacks after a throw like that would have crumbled. And as we wrap up some game film study, man, let me say this, y'all. I am bought in to Will Brooks as a defensive back. People have said, well, if Will Brooks is the only thing you have at DB, then your defense must not be that great. But guys, Will Brooks is in the right place at the right time. And man, this kid is tough as nails. And I'm starting to buy in to Will Brooks being a potential real deal in the defensive backfield. When he picked this ball off and he ran it back, I was running through my front yard. You're a hard worker, man, and you got rewarded. This pumps me up, son.
Oh,
Dang.
it's a pick. McCall was inaccurate, and it's picked up by Will Brooks. The walk-on is running. The walk-on is running in. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
On this offense. And some of the keys, we could keep going. This is right at the beginning of the second half, and we just repeat ourselves. But some of the things that I noted was complementary football as we wrap up. Guys, I'm telling you, I think that our offense is going to be better than it was in 2022. And we're just more balanced. I mean, you think about in 2022, who was our wide receiver one? It was Jalen Hyatt. Everybody knew it. Everybody knew that he was the main threat on offense. He was the speediest receiver we had right next to Squirrel White. One of the fastest receivers we've seen in a long time. And you look at this team, who's wide receiver one? My natural inkling is to say, oh, Brew. I don't think it's Brew. I think it's Brew and Dante Thornton. Brew and Squirrel White. Brew and Chris Brazel. Brew and Kisselman as a tight end. Brew and Mike Matthews. Brew and Chaz Nimrod. I mean, this entire wide receiving room is stacked. You've got the poise, and the composure of Nico Imaliava with Dylan Sampson as RB1. You've got the experience in the offensive line. I mean, those dudes are dogs, right? We saw the blind side block where they took an NC State defensive lineman and put him back on his butt in the parking lot of US Bank Stadium. I mean, this offense, guys, is dangerous. And the beautiful thing is we don't need the offense to be on point every single week. I think that they will be. But if they're not, for whatever reason, and hell freezes over, then our defense complements our offense. We've got a front seven that I would argue is the best in the nation. NC State had no production on the ground. And if you can't run the ball against the Tennessee Volunteers, you will lose your head-to-head shot against the Tennessee Volunteers. And people might say, well, our secondary is young, and you're right. But I think it was the best move for those guys that we had playing in the secondary for the first years of Josh Heupel to move on to other programs. Because yes, we've got youth in the secondary, but they're better talent. And they're ready to be developed. They're ready to be implemented. What a better time to implement a young secondary. There's not a better time to implement a young secondary than with this front seven. Because if you have a great secondary, but a mid front seven, it's not really going to do much for you. You might have a good play here and there, a couple stops here and there. But if you've got a top of the line number 1, 2, or 3 front seven in the country, and you've got a young but talented secondary, you're going to be okay. That secondary, because of the experience of the front seven, because of the hunger of the front seven, because of the dogs that are on the line, they're going to want to step up and play complementary football. And as a unit, they are dangerous. And I'll be honest, coming into this season, I had my questions about the defense. But the more that I watch this defense, the more I'm thinking there could potentially be some championships on the horizon. And don't be surprised if Tennessee finds themselves in a deep playoff run this year. I'm excited, man. And we got Kent State this week, which we will talk about in further detail on Friday. But I'm excited about this crew. I'm excited about how deep. I think I'm pleasantly surprised. But I also, coming into this season, have told Vol haters on my TikTok account all preseason long, I said, y'all are sleeping. And that term gets thrown around a lot. They're sleeping on the Kentucky Wildcats. Well, as long as Mark Stoops is there, I don't think so. I think they'll continue to be mid, as we saw in their performance against a lower tier South Carolina team. Hope you're having fun out there, Gerard Mincy. But I kept telling people in the offseason, you're sleeping on Tennessee. Us Vol fans, we know. And I've been telling people for 2 years, just wait. Just wait. You can't keep a blue blood program like Tennessee down for long. And when you finally hire a competent AD who knows what the heck he's doing, you get a good Tennessee football program who is rising from the ashes of 15 to 20 years of despair. And you get a product like this in year 4 of Josh Heupel. Now, there's still a lot of football to be played, but I'm excited about this team. Guys, thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of Game Film for Dummies. This page, we're starting to get this page launched off the ground. I'm not an expert. I'm just excited to be a fan, hanging out with other fans. If you guys would like and subscribe to this channel, we're trying to bring this channel to new heights because of the success that we've seen on TikTok. You can go to my TikTok account, Bearded Tennessee, the same as the name for this account, and give it a follow. If you'd like to support at a deeper level, you can do that by going to the Patreon. You can find that link in both the YouTube and TikTok accounts. Once again, guys, I'm so glad that you're here. And Vol Nation, as always, go Vols.